Hello everybody, welcome to the Galactic Seabass channel. This episode is going to be different than any episode that I've produced in the past, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I'd like to entitle it, The Origin of Galactic Seabass.
This is the city of Stanford, where I was born on November 26, 1993.
This was the house that I grew up in with my dad and my grandma.
My grandfather died about a month before I was born, and my grandmother died on January 6, 2014, and they're both buried here in Stanford. Where this car is right now, I threw a pop fly in the air and it landed on my dad's hood one time and it put a dent in it in his new car. And I remember he was upset, but he couldn't get upset at me because I was so young. It was a good day. Right here, there was a hose on the ground and I did a pop a wheelie, and it was the first time I ever did that. And I fell so hard I hit my tailbone, and that was my first real bike crash. And my dad put an ice pack under my butt and I watched TV. It was a good day. This is crazy. This was my backyard. This is probably pretty weird. I should get out of here. These are some of the windy roads that I would go down as a child in the passenger seat of my dad's car.
This is the elementary school that I went to when I was a little kid. I fell right over there and I hit my elbow and it bled for 20 minutes, but the nurse helped me out because she was a good lady. Behind this glass is the classroom that I learned to read in. That is the room that I learned how to read the alphabet. This cabinet store used to be a place called Northeast Bicycles, and on Christmas Day 1998 my mom and my dad both pitched together and gave me a 20-inch VFR dyno. And even though I was a 5-year-old tiny little kid on a 20-inch BMX bike, that couldn't stop me and it no way brought me down. That was one of the greatest gifts I've ever been given in my whole life. It introduced me to BMX and what was possible with it, and I'm still riding BMX to this day. So big shout out to my mom and my dad, and RIP to Northeast Bikes. This building that Mark Twain is standing in front of is the Ferguson Library. I came here pre-internet days to read books and hang out with my friends, and I really enjoyed the presence of this place, knowing that it was right down the road, and I still have the Ferguson Library card hanging on my wall of memories back at home. This restaurant is called the Bull's Head Diner. I used to come here all the time when I was a little kid with my dad and my grandma, and I would drink the little shots of half and half from her coffee orders to give you an idea of how young I was when I came here. I've won more prizes in this claw machine than any other claw machine in the world. This is the Subway where I got a tick on my leg and my dad pulled it off and we both got sandwiches. That was a really good day. This field was one of the diamonds that I used to play baseball on. I played baseball for 9 years as a kid. It's a lot easier to play baseball when there's not snow all over the ground. This was another one of the diamonds that I played on as a kid. Right here is actually where I played my first game of t-ball. This is the city of Bethel. This was my home. This was the last place my dad and I ever lived. That was my dad's room, and that was my room. I used to climb this tree every day. I used to throw snowballs. All of this used to be my backyard. When my dad got me my first real skateboard, I tried to skate down this hill. I fell really hard. I learned how to skate though. I persevered. This is the dentist's office that I got 9 of my baby teeth pulled out at one time. And then I went to middle school here at Bethel Middle School. This is where I spent my freshman year of high school. This is the house I saw my first pair of breasts in. This is where I used to eat pizza. This is a train. This is where I raced BMX every Wednesday. My dad would sit right there and watch. This nail salon used to be a place called the Bicycle Goodie Shop. It was my very first job, owned by Linda and Joe Villafano. They paid me in sandwiches and bike parts. And to this day, it was one of the greatest jobs I ever had. When my dad died, the owners of the bike shop took me in and they let me live with them so I could finish out my freshman year of high school. And this was the house. On March 21st, 2008, my father passed away, and that brings us here to Long Ridge Cemetery, where he's been buried ever since. Today is March 21st, 2018. It has been exactly 1 decade since my father passed away. My father wasn't only my dad. He was my best friend, he was my music buddy. We told jokes to each other. He played catch with me when I was a kid. He helped me learn to read. He took me to school. He was a good guy. He was a good man. He was a great musician. He had a lot going for him, and he left this world at age 42. And some people might think that's pretty young. You know, it's crazy when they say that everything happens for a reason, because sometimes things happen and they seem so traumatic that you think there's no way that this could be what was meant to be. This is too hard, this is too much. And when I was 14, my dad died. The world took him away from me, and that changed my life. But if that didn't happen, then I wouldn't be the person that I am today. And as much as it saddens me to know that he's not here anymore, I'm grateful for every second that we got to spend together, because I can cherish those memories for the rest of my life, and nothing can ever take away the fact that those did happen. And I can always look back and remember the good times.
To briefly summarize what happened in between the time that he passed away and where I am now in California. When I was 14, I moved to Salt Lake City with my mom. We moved around for a few years and lived in a couple of states, and then when I was 19, I got a job at Woodward in California. I got that, and then with $100 and a dream, I took myself and my car down to San Diego with absolutely no plan. I got a job at Subway, worked up, saved, and a few things happened here and there, and now I'm living comfortably out in California. And that's the story of Galactic Seabass. I think I have a little bit of catching up with my dad to do. It's been 6 years since I came by to visit this gravestone, and I'd like to thank you guys very much for watching this, and I'll see you next time.